Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo.
spots, trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a hole! We're gonna dig back. White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
The beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Sage gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh, that team's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this master composition. Now Soccer Court is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick on the Leaky. You're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Lana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio. That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Starting the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. People Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the 8? They get the 8.
Empires fall, but dreams reign high. That was the story of the mid-season bracket for the EU Masters tier, where both of these teams that we'll be seeing today were undefeated. Dream Eaters are still undefeated. They won the mid-season bracket. But Gallica, they lost to Cat Plague. They didn't even get to face against Dream Eaters. So this is actually a bracket first. Prior to the mid-season, both undefeated. Now they're facing off against each other, and Empire are the team that need to kind of prove something here. My name is Gio. I'll be casting for it today alongside the gravy to my bacon, Spectron. How you doing?
You have gravy on bacon?
Yeah?
Never had that from my life.
I mean, okay, I'll admit it's not normal. It's not a normal thing. Not all the time, by the way. Not every time I have bacon.
Honestly, like, I feel like I've heard worse ideas and options before, so I can't even judge. It caught me off guard a little bit, you know? But no, as you mentioned, these two teams have not clashed just yet. EMPR Gallica fell a little bit flat on their face in the playoffs. A certain person actually might have predicted that on the breakdown, so make sure you check out for more of the more correct takes here in CGL. In terms of the predictions for this game, let's get it right out of the way. There's obviously Dream Eaters who are going to be the firm favorites heading into this. The patch still the same. Mid-season hasn't come through just yet, and no rebalancing, and so there's not really much to have changed the equation if you're either of these two teams. Yes, you've had a bit of time extra to play, but a week's worth of scrimming can only really get you so far. And so for EMPR Gallica, I would imagine that though they might have been able to put some rudimentary fixes on some of the issues they were having to do with their syncs, their compositions, all that kind of jazz, I'm not sure they've been able to address the deeper issues that have been plaguing them.
Yeah, and you said a very core thing there. No, 1 week of scrims can't really change the fate, right? And unless for some reason something clicks, but the chances of that being the case, very little. On paper here, you're expecting the Dream Eaters to continue to be the dominant team of this bracket and to get the win here, but Gallica, if they want to try and prove to people that what happened in the midseason was a fluke, well, here's their chance.
Absolutely, yeah. Of course, we're going to wait and see what the bans are. EMPR Gallica get the first ban by the looks of things, so everything open. Is that a bull ban? Or a visual bug?
I believe it's a visual bug.
Yeah. Okay, they decided to ban Malga, which does make more sense. A lot of teams don't like playing into Malga, and Malga's really good, especially on maps that are flat. And he can scale really easily, especially maps that have a kind of equal kind of spacing, you know, like a control flashpoint, all that kind of jazz, because it's really easy just to run at them when you're in that neutral fight, and then once you have choke control, they can't really do anything about it. It's a strong enough ban. Obviously, that means that if you are on the side of Dream Eaters, you can no longer ban a tank. So if you wanted to ban maybe a Ramattra, a Diva, a Hazard, all relatively popular picks right now as well, that's going to be no bueno. So you're locked into a DPS or a support pick. With the Malga banned out, that implies that your opponents want to play something along the lines of like a Winston, a Doomfist, a Diva, a Queen, and so I think you could target the Kiri Lucio backline. But then again, if you wanted to, Kiri ban. I was gonna say you could also go towards like a Juno ban, force the Kiri Lucio on like a Brawl tank anyway. But no, they decided to get rid of Kiri. Fair enough. Going to basically necessitate Juno.
Yeah, and you've been seeing a lot of Juno Ana as a backline. It means Ana's a little bit more vulnerable to like hard dives, but if the Ana's good, like I saw yesterday with Captain Prash, basically being a cockroach and surviving what they shouldn't be and getting good sleeps, getting good nades, but is a bit riskier, and that's the face it Masters division. We're in Masters right now, so those players might not be as confident running such a risky backline.
I don't think it's particularly risky. I think it just depends on your individual execution. Like something like Zen Brig would be risky and cool as hell. That's one of my favorite combos. But at the end of the day, most of the things we're kind of seeing played right now, be it Ana Lucio, Juno Lucio, Juno Brig, they're all like pretty safe realistically. The Ana can die if she doesn't know how to play or spacing, if the Lucio can't mark an angle, but that's life. You know, that's what you trade for having all your high impact cooldowns. So absolutely fair enough. I do like seeing how much of the meta is still changing. You know, we're seeing a lot of Malga now, we're seeing a lot of Diva, a lot of Winston as well. It just depends on what you have the hero pool for. If you are Dream Eaters, having Chinese Dinos, who historically is more of a Winston player than anything else, then I do think they are going to try and lean towards that whenever they can. But he can play the ground tanks and pretty effectively too.
Yeah, and I want to pick up on what you said, like how the meta's still evolving, and the fact that we're like so close to the mid-season patch. This feels like quite fresh for the meta to not have been like fully solved like a week in, and then we're just waiting and praying that the mid-season patch is enough to mix it up. But now, you know, it's kind of like curious because teams, they're not quite sure how much is going to be in this upcoming mid-season patch. Are a lot of the perks getting switched out? Is it just some of the perks? Is it going to focus more on like numbers and micro buffs and nerfs that they usually do on the numbers of the base kept characters? This is the first mid-season where, you know, it's a little less clear how much they're going to go and lean in and change things. So I think teams definitely will have their eyes on that, especially with the Freya test next week as well. They're going to be trying to test that out so that they're all equipped for next season when Freya comes in, and basically just be prepared for the future, because this is the kind of point in an Overwatch season where you're thinking, okay, things are about to change a little bit and we need to be prepared for that.
Yeah, I gotta say, what I'm personally looking for with the mid-season would be Kiri, Juno, Ana nerfs. I feel like they're a bit too pivotal right now, maybe Malga as well. But I feel like those flex supports are kind of just lobby admin, you know? Like, Juno's always good because of her HPS, her perks aren't fantastic. Ana and Kiri perks are just like nuts. Double Nano, that got to be toned down. Bouncing Nade, got to go. Double TP, absolutely not. Like, I don't know, I feel like these heroes are the ones who define the meta most right now. So we'll have to wait and see if that is what ends up being addressed, or more likely if they decide to gig above Bastion for some godforsaken reason.
Yeah, double TP is insane. Never more have I felt like I'm in a Tom and Jerry simulation and trying to catch a Kiri with that. But let's have a look at our undefeated team, our reigning champions, Dream Eaters. You've got Pizza Bagel and Brigitte Sux in the backline there. They'll be supporting the rest of the team of Chinese Dino, Solar, and Tiger. This is a very strong team in this division. Like I've said, they're undefeated. They've lost a total of, counting it up in the playoffs as well, 3 maps in total this entire season of CGL. So some teams are getting all freed, right? This is a team that has lost very few maps, and they're looking to continue that reign.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm going to say is that it's a Chinese Dino differential. That's the Nottingham differential right here. On the other side, EMPR Gallica. Undefeated in the regular season still, but as we previously mentioned, the actual playoff run was not what they'd love to see. So we'll see if Ozeras, I believe a new player, at least one I haven't cast before, Tropu, Drunk Banana, Jarmalada, and Solar Giraffe are able to do. So it looks like a couple things have been switched up since the last time we saw this roster. See if they move away from some of the Queen was both their primary weapon and maybe one of their weaknesses, their Achilles heel, even in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and with Joka not here. Oh wait, no. So yeah, Joka is JJ. Sorry. So yeah, Joka's their team captain. But what's curious is that Solar Giraffe previously was mostly a tank player. Recently, just switched on to support. We've seen this happen before multiple times, where players known as one specific role they shift across, and it kind of. I see it as a strength if they have the mechanics to play that role perfect, because it means that they have the knowledge of what their tank wants to do and creates a good synergy there. So my eyes will be on Solar there to see what they can do on the support line.
We'll have to wait and see. Simple as that. On Nepal, are supports as pivotal as maybe they have been before? I'm going to say maybe not. Seems like the sides, well, they were poking up in the warm-up. I'll say how much for free. I was like, are they fighting? What's
I was a
going
little
on here?
confused as well.
Yeah, but no, we're pickle chilling. You see Mara's taking us on a magical trip of the map. All the weird corners that I never look at. I mean, how many times have you seen a fight happen here? In Capture the Flag, people fight here. Outside of that, never, really.
Yeah, most of my fights here are on Yeti hunters, I think. I don't think I've ever actually had a fight here.
Okay, here we go. We've got some comps to talk about, something interesting finally. Chinese Dino on the Ram. Ram's really bloody good right now, I can't lie. Also one of the big winners of perks. Kind of all four of them are really good. But you'll probably see Chinese Dinos moving towards the buff towards your staff, as well as probably the bigger slow. The other ones are good. The shield is good. The heal is good, but they're kind of just useful for poking, for sustaining. You want to kill people, you take the damaging ones. On the other side of things, with the Queen, you'll need to find that whilst your ult fights are super comfortable, it's going to be a lot of pressure onto Drunk Banana to mitigate and manage their health effectively.
And they'll be teeing off here. That health that they're meant to manage is going real low for Drunk Banana. They're getting split right now. Dino is just pummeling into them. Arms not quite like a T-Rex, more like a boxer. Drunk Banana's going to go down to Solar, who finds him with the icicle there, and now without their Junker Queen, without that shit to keep them alive, they're going to go down, but Dino just falls over. You'd think you're going to stay alive there when you have such an advantage, and Azeris doing quite well to keep getting those eliminations to try and keep their team in the lead here, but this suddenly descended into utter chaos where, like, I feel like it really shouldn't have. Azeris is going to go down, and yeah, Solar backs up.
I mean, Chinese Dinos is in a pretty stable position, but just like goes for the plat magnet play, just walks towards the target he's shooting at for no reason. Listen, if you're gonna keep playing like that, I can't keep duplicating the glaze eggs against you. You gotta do something for yourself, man.
Tiger does find GG, so they're going to go down. No more healing from that, and again, Drunk Banana will just fall over, and Dino's just finding them, just like punching them up, send them back to spawn, and Drunk Banana's going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Queen. You don't respond to pressure that effectively, so you need to pay a lot of attention to where your backline is playing and how to manage your shouts. So there'll be some later shouts, maybe some slower play from Drunk Banana, and more time developing these DPS angles, because right now, we're basically 5-stacking. These walls are so punishing.
Yeah, very punishing, and the split up just forces the cooldowns as well. You're just going to see a nice solid push here with the Coalescence, and Solar finding Banana there, and it's just the same old story where Galactica are getting split up enough for Drunk Banana to go down. Meanwhile, though, actually, Gallica finding the picks despite being down their tank. They're showing themselves to be a clutch team that even in moments where they have a disadvantage, they can still get up. A questionable speed ring there, but the Dragon Blade's going to force the side of Dream Eaters off, and you can call them the Dream Catchers because, again, they were down in the fight, but still won it out.
Good Blade there. Gets its job, gets some extra pressure onto Chinese Dinos, and he saves the dash to escape exactly what you want to see from the side of EMPR Gallica. Dream Eaters are largely up in the ults. The only important thing is that Brigitte Sucks beats the Rampage. If you don't do that, then you are going to be in for a world of hurt.
Oh, the boop there is going to stop Banana from getting too much done with their ultimate. Now the sound barrier. Brig Sucks doing a whole lot for their team. Although Giraffe comes in at the second beat. Typically, it's told that that is the most effective one. Sucks is going to go down to the overclock there that finds them. But again, Banana's just not getting much done. They're getting mashed up into some banana bread right now. but they're not really yielding much from their plays. And I think really that was all on the Lucio there to really turn it around. They are investing the orbital ray here. They still think it's winnable. This is a team that doesn't really end fights, and they are winning. Okay. See, I would have done that. I would not have pulled Ray there, but to be fair to them, they're winning the fights back.
I do think that comes down to a target focus issue from the side of Dream Eaters. Orbital Ray is normally able to help you clutch out 4v5s when you have tank. When you're down tank, you normally just don't have the HP, the damage to actually follow through on a kill. But Dream Eaters, they start off well, but then, swap to cleanup mode a smidge too soon and get punished for it. 78% now ticking up. Means it last fight territory here on Village, at least for EMPR Gallica, but Dream Eaters still with an OC and a Coalescence to try and take it back.
And the OC will take out the Martian from the sky, sent back to Mars. Now Banana's just going to get bullied with these rail guns. Tiger stayed a little bit too long on that high ground when the rest of the team dropped, but they will get the point swap.
They get another flip. And at the point they're at, then it's going to be one proper fight. Now no proper fights as Tropo goes down. Okay, one fight to decide exactly where Village takes us. Both these teams have been very, very close. What we thought could be maybe even a sweep in favor of the Dream Eaters has been much more competitive than we had so forth imagined. But being close to both this freeze and this annihilation is going to be a huge issue for Gallica. It's going to be an opening with the Coalescence and then hope they just charge into ults.
Dino gets walled off by their own team, but they're not locked in with them. He's locked in with everyone else. And Dino gets the punches, takes out Giraffe again, though. It's chaos, it's back and forth, but there is the annihilation. This will be the full stop to the sentence. If they can at least land the punches there, Banana almost got that health pack. More players making it back to the point to get the touches in, but Xera's going down. Very close, very scrappy, but Dream Eaters, they're able to have the control of the point at the end of that submap.
Obviously, yeah, incredibly competitive there. A bit of a troll fight there, to be honest, from both those sides even. Starting off with the Cola is a great idea, but you can't have Pizza Bagel going down. If she dies, then realistically, you should be falling over. Thankfully, Chinese Dinos finishes the annihilation in time and is basically just allowed to moonwalk through the backline. No one really looks at him as he kills like 3 people all on his lonesome, and Sola's given enough time to live to finish off that freeze as well. So you've got the Annihilate killing kind of your Tropos, your Jar Jar Maladas of the world, and Solar just chills on the point, freezes everybody off, and it converts. Dream Eater's up 1-0, is able to clutch things out a smidgen more. Tiger opens things up with a TP, so the core, of course, of Dream Eaters are going to be a smidgen further ahead than their counterparts. But Tiger is going to be behind on that hit scan.
Yeah, and you can see that on the overall head there, where even Banana was the last one to get to the point. Just means that you can set up and answer Ramatra in the Omnic form. We've got a lot of spam damage in, especially with that perk that they have with the burst. Pizza Bagel had to fade out of there because they took a lot of damage in backing up. You see that Disruptor Orb stuck onto Brigitte sucks. Xera's heard the call, followed up on it with a dash. Both Lucio's down, so it's slow moving for both sides, but the Junker Queen shout is going to be enough to be able to follow up the rest of it. And Banana basically making up for a bit of a sloppy first sub point here, getting eliminations, following up on their team, but it doesn't look like they're going to have the support of the rest of their team to stay on the point, as it will be the side of Dream Eaters taking control at first.
I mean, when you take just brawl fights, right, that's always going to be the side of Dream Eaters who are going to be converting that a smidge better than their opposition. You get the late kill onto Tropa with that reset coming through. Of course, you're ahead on that flex support ult charge. That's just going to be the case pretty much every single time. But the important thing is, when you're playing this Queen comp, you need to win these Rampage fights. Drunk Banana might be able to charge into it in this next fight. You need to be ahead of Brigitte Sucks, and you need to actually hit all 5 players next time, because that boop last time was so punishing.
Both these Lucios very good, but Xera's finding Pizza Bagel. That's a huge opener. Coalescence off of the board. That's a massive choice there, a massive pick from the side of Galak. And yeah, Solar going down. Dino trying their best to turn it around, but the numbers are not in their favor as they will fall down. A very keen pick gets them in control, and they didn't need to use any of the ultimates as well that they were coming up to.
No, they did not. I mean, perfect scenario for them now. Basically, everybody has their check mark, right? We kind of know this. If you're EMPR Gallica, you probably want to play a little bit slow, right? You need this orbital ray because both teams can just trade check marks until somebody makes a mistake.
There's the first one, it's a coalescence, but you can't Suzu that. A gigantic rampage is just going to sweep it up there as Banana basically says, yeah, okay, you're coalescing and pushing, but what if you just couldn't heal? Yeah, that's why I thought go back to your spawn.
Yeah, I mean, a huge issue now for Dream Eaters, as Brigitte Sucks beat is desynced, and obviously Chinese Dino staggered as well. Normally, you want to be able to beat every rampage. That was absolutely possible on the previous map of Village. Here, it won't be. Brigitte Sucks now has an option. You can either hold your sound barrier until the next rampage is online and lose out the opportunity cost of spending one and farming another 80% ult charge, or you can spend it and then probably not have it for the next rampage. So a really weird choice for them to make.
Well, the overclock is the opening choice by Tropu here, as they're needing to back up from the push. Blizzard's large, but Solar immediately taken out by that overclock, and suddenly things are not looking so good for the Dream Eaters. They're going to pull the Annihilation. Blade coming out from Zeras, though, is going to take out Tiger, and slowly, one by one, the numbers are falling for the Dream Eaters. And while Dino's doing well here, right? Dino's doing a lot, but it's not enough.
Realistically, he should have reset a smidge faster. 10% left to go. Would have loved to see one of the Dream Eaters move over to a Tracer, a Sombra, something to get there a smidge faster. Dino's on the ball is one of his more comfortable heroes, but I just don't know who has first touch here.
Well, it is going to be the ball just in time, and the overclock. Bye-bye, Juno. Sent away, and with Banana falling as well, that's enough damage, that's enough follow-up for them to take control, and with some adaptations here on the composition, they're able to retake here on Nepal Shrine.
That they are. I mean, adaptations is one word. I'd describe them more as desperation picks, right? I don't think the bull is better, but I think it does work, especially if Dream Eaters have experience playing a Wrecking Bull comp, then this is relatively playable. You can change things some rounds. You'd rather have a Kiri, obviously, than a Moira, but it's workable, especially if a Pizza Bagel gets his coal online before EMPR Gallica have actually walked up.
And you can see Dino as well, just waiting for the slam. He's actually going right into the back line and force out the Juno. Goes down. There's no support, no help for that Juno. They were just completely caught off guard, and from that initial stumble, they're unable to hold on. And the Cold Essence has been used here to secure the fight. Not necessarily required, though.
No, but at the end of the day, if you gotta secure it, then you gotta secure it. It's as simple as that. Dream Eaters would love to see their DPS get a smidgen more active. Tiger and Soda still pretty far away from their check marks. So in an ult fight, EMPR Gallica should win this. We do need a DPS pick to relieve some of the pressure as we head into the final fight.
Well, as the team walks in on the left, there's a bit of a split. Banana by himself on the right-hand side, taking a lot of punishment. Needs to get supported up. Sound barrier ready from Giraffe. They use it the moment that they get it online. Pizza Bagel super low, is faded back, is hiding. Mines are ready, but Tiger finding the Juno there. That's going to be huge. There's very little healing. There's now no healing as their pile drive 6 foot under. Not enough will get done here by that overclock, and Zeres cannot clutch it up against all 5. And Dream Eaters, yeah, the desperation picks, it worked. They clearly pick characters that they're comfortable enough on to make work in further fights, and they take the first.
Yeah, it's a smidgen sweaty, right? 99-99 basically on both those 2 points, but at the end of the day, they're able to show that they can clutch things out when absolutely needed to. And obviously the Wrecking Ball was a pretty big boon in their favor. Honestly, Chinese Dinos pretty effective at just disrupting and finding more than a couple eliminations, and because of that, then 1-0 up. Dream Eaters still keeping their record relatively clean.
Yes, but you are right, it was a little bit close, probably closer than Dream Eaters were wanting, but we can call it round 1 nerves, we can call it control point, we can throw it under the rug, and let's see what these teams are going to do now that maybe the nerves of playing, or they've warmed up a little, because again, while Dream Eaters are the dominant team here, stats-wise, historically, before the playoffs, Gallica was also undefeated, right? So Dream Eaters, they're not taking this for granted. They're taking them at face value and they're respecting them. However, these chaos fights are happening often, and it's the chaos fights that are really giving Gallica the opportunities to come back into it. So if we see just a little bit more tightening up on the side of Dream Eaters, then it won't be as close. It'll be very much more to the side of the Dream Eaters.
Yeah, have to wait and see, of course. Fresh set bands is going to come through. Of course, you can tell that the map behind us, Hollywood, very, very different. But in terms of what you can end up playing, it's kind of going to end up being the same stuff, right? You can play Ram, you can play Bull, you can play... I mean, they were just playing Ram and Bull. Queen maybe less so, right? Queen is going to get poked out on the long sideline. So we'll obviously a bit of an adaptation from EMPR Gallica. Obviously, they do get first ban once again, so we are going to wait on that to see where they elect to go next. Your options... It's a bit weird. I don't know, to be honest. Like a Lucio ban? I really don't know. You share so many heroes, and the fact that we see the opportunity to play both the Ram and the Bull is an issue. I'd probably ban the Ram if I had to decide, but it's an awkward spot.
There's an argument to be made for Juno, because it definitely felt like Joka was getting taken out of the fights a lot more. Like, Dream Eater's ability to find the Juno and eliminate the Juno was a little bit better than Gallica's. So I could see a world where Gallica banned the Juno just to get it off the board so that they're free to play other backlines, and it's actually going to be a Winston ban. Okay, that's mean.
I mean, it makes sense. It's one of Chinese Dino's good heroes. It's a good map for Winston. It's going to force him back over to the Bull, maybe like the Diva if he's got that in his hero pool. But I think it's a pretty good idea, all things considered. Fair enough. Dream Eaters, what do you want to ban? Well, you know exactly kind of game plan now of EMPR Gallica. They don't want to deal with the Winston. They don't want to deal with the dive. So you can now either opt towards a dive comp anyway, you know, without having the Winston in it, or you can try and match them on the ground. And this next ban is going to show us how they want to use it.
Yes, it's, you know, do you want to tackle more of those ground and pound type compositions, take out the Lucio? Okay, it's actually going to be the Genji. I get this, you know, this is very fair. I would say that Xeris was very clutch in those moments as the Genji, so taking away one of Xeris' main toys that they play with, fair enough. I understand that one.
Yeah, you also probably just also like some tracer hit scan setup as well, right? It's pretty comfortable too. Just like sit on high grounds, spam down damage in, send your tracer just to go annoy on the off angles. This is one of the maps, so I think where Tracer probably is better than Genji, especially on the defense side. When you have the high ground for free, there's not really much that you can really do as a Genji to force the fight. So I think these are pretty good bans of both these two teams. I think EMPR Gallica has probably found a larger advantage than the Dream Eaters, but will it be enough to get the win? That we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, but Hollywood is where stars are made. Perhaps that's where Gallica can begin to bring it back, because as we've talked about with their, let's be honest, their lackluster performance in the mid-season, because as an undefeated team, they were probably looking at potentially being the team to win it out. They were probably looking at Dream Eaters. Maybe they overlooked Cat Plague in the mid-season. Maybe Cat Plague just played really well. But ultimately, they want to get those points back, because obviously it means Dream Eaters, they have more points towards the end playoffs, and Gallica, they want to try and catch up and secure themselves good seeding for the playoffs, where of course, you know, it's all important, right? It's not the mid-season anymore. We're now going towards the end playoffs, which is going to be really important for both teams. We have a substitute here. Hutchie's coming in, so Briggsux is exiting, so a little bit of a substitution just to change things up.
Obviously, you have the full background options now available, so just okay, if they actually play Briggs Zen firstly, that would actually be awesome. Like I mentioned, the GOAT composition, but it would be, like I said, it's just a bit tricky. You've got to rotate your Zen kind of like a Counter-Strike AWP, using it to lock down these longer sight lines, and if he has any pressure at all, he's going to kind of evaporate, even with the Breaker, giving what packs and Inspire healing she can. It's not all that. Wait and see exactly what these teams decide to run out on in just a second. But first and foremost, Stu, I do have to address something you said earlier. I think you were spreading misinformation on this broadcast. You said Hollywood are where stars are born. They actually are born in Nebulous, I'll have you know.
Okay, nerd alert.
Yeah.
We've got nerds A Star is Born is not set in space, it is set in LA, okay? And that is a
I haven't
good
seen that
movie.
film.
Of
I know
course
about
you've not seen
astrophysics,
that
though.
film. I just imagine you watch like Star Trek on repeat or something like
I
that.
don't watch Star Trek.
You don't watch Star Trek. Okay,
No.
what have you watched the most in repeat then?
The Batman.
Okay. Well, the film, The Batman.
Yeah, the film, The Batman.
Do you prefer that to the Christopher Nolan Batmans?
I do, yes.
Okay, that's interesting. I feel like we need a deeper convo on that one because I'd like to have a wee discussion. But either way, we've got a video game to play.
Ash and a super heavy poke here for Dream Eaters. They probably don't play for hard dive, so they can, off the back of a Pizza Bagel cooldown. Soda and Giant Insano can follow up, but you kind of just want to wait for somebody to fall over. EMPR Gallica, if Drunk Banana can get close enough to the backline, even with the brig, you probably just evaporate into the Haz. And this is a lot of scaling for free hit. Japan Insano has to go sooner rather than later.
Oh, Batman from the rafters descends Dino to take out the villains of Gotham, but it looks like Gotham is fighting back as Hazard, the banana Hazard here, just forcing the entire backline back of that block, and a very aggressive positioning from the Brigida is going to cause some concern, but it actually gives Tiger a little bit of space to get Xeris out of the map, and now you can think about recontesting. Of course, you've got Dino still in the backline, causing disruption. Force the TP now, so now Kerry's vulnerable if they could locate that Kerry, but they have to back up because of the amount of damage being taken. And this 3-2 split means that like this trio is very untouchable, but also the other two, they're feeling the hurt. They're getting all the focus right now. Dino goes down. Now it's forced all on Solar to be able to touch this point, keep it alive. Meanwhile, Hazard is just holding down the front line.
Well, also, the issue is that they're playing it too much like a dive, in my opinion, where Solar and Chinese Dino are hard committing. But also, Tiger and Pizza Bagel being on that same angle reduces the effectiveness of both of their shooting. Your Ana and your Ash should be on their own kind of spots. And so I think that setup issue causes a lot of issues here for Dream Eaters. See what the Nano can change here as we start our second point defense, and it's going to be invested soon.
I'll drive into the back line. A Pizza Bagel was left in the oven, overcooked. And it is going to be Joka who just cleans up there on the Kerry, and maybe you can see why the Kerry was banned in the first map. Joka so far has been very good on this character and getting the damage in and also supporting their team. Rally's going to come in with a stun there on to Banana, just trying to take down the Hazard, who so far has been an absolute thorn, pun intended, in their sides.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing the Ana break backline, and realistically any break backline is more vulnerable than not to a Hazard. This is why you normally see like Lucio Kiri being played into him, but it's not really the preference of the Dream Eaters, and it does make sense, but they are sometimes being punished for it. Now with some more separation, we'll see if it works any better, but we'll have to wait and see, of course.
1000 HP on the Wrecking Ball is just an insane number to see, and the mines are going to clear the high ground here, force Banana to use the block to clear the mines. Meanwhile, they can just go and take Xeris out, who I imagine got booped into a mine. I don't imagine they walked into it. Tropo, though, taking down Dino means that this high ground is now open again for Gallica to use, and use it as a launching pad. Right into the backline. Pizza Bagels has nanoed the Brigida, but went down immediately, so Hutchie's just trying to stay alive, keep the support there for Dino. Is alive still off the back of that nano. Tropo goes down there as Dino's just finding these little opportunities to weave in the damage, and the beat comes in, but they just immediately have to back up after using it.
This might actually be a zero value beat. It allows Drunk Banana to escape, but I mean, there's just one death that isn't on his tally because he would have caught the same wave as his teammates. So smidge awkward there. EMPR Gallica can walk back in. They've got the Kitsu, which is right now has no countermeasure, but a Bob could just deny the sideline overall if it's well placed.
This is already out, so a well-placed nade could end this Kitsune rush, but the Pulse Bomb going to force Tiger into a tricky position. Bob has already gone down, but yeah, before Bob went down, Banana fell to it, and that's a disaster. You do not want to see that on the happening to your tank of all people.
Solar does get a little bit too frisky with it, and that punishment does mean the EMPR Gallica now have a window. Solar won't be back for time. You kind of need Tigers to be the one to make up the difference.
Dino already forced out that wall, just waiting for an opportunity to be placed well enough that Dino gets forced out. Meanwhile, they're just facing up against Tropu, who's forced to get the Mega, drop from the high ground. Dino's backing up, and they're not playing as hard committal as they were on first point, as you had mentioned. They're kind of playing a little softer, playing a little bit looser, and again, that Suzu, that TP on the carry, one of the big things that they're waiting for. Bagheera needs to rally here. Hachi just keeping himself alive and the backline. Dino going to follow up there onto Joku. The kid Kiriko going down. Banana also, and Chopu doesn't have the best sightline here for that overclock and doesn't find too much with it. Meanwhile, though, they are going to secure the point here and basically cause a reset.
Yeah, Cart still not moving. It's been a huge amount of time that's been bled off the bank by the Dream Eaters. Remember, once was 4+ minutes, now down to just one. Realistically, one really good shake of the stick here for EMPR Gallica. Downpour and a beat, not bad tools for it, but another mining gauge could be huge.
Something's in the way, and there's a whole lot of mines. That's what's in the way. And again, the Suzu comes out to just keep Chopu alive. Tiger goes down, actually. Oh my god! The big flashing blue character, that's a little bit dangerous. You should probably hide from them. Tropu is just getting elimination after elimination.
Fair enough.
Meanwhile, though, Pizza Bagel gets so draft, but the point has been secured, so it's all for naught at the end of the day.
Yeah, Tropo just rails two people, whilst Alzaris is forcing Cart. There's not really anything you can do about that if you're Dream Eaters, to be honest. It's just a little bit unlucky. Pizza Bagel, Tiger all get staggered. Not ideal, but it's kind of what happens. And EMPR Gallica, a fresh lease of life here. Fantastic from them. In the kind of spot now as well, because they didn't have to spend a single check mark, where they can really get this snowball going, right? Where they can maybe even finish this map.
Well, that's what they're looking for. And as two people residing in Scotland, we know how bad a downpour can be. Banana, if they can place it at least just onto Dino, that could be very devastating, but it's the Kitsune Rush going to come out first. Pizza Bagel just finds himself obliterated in the sight of it, and they still have their Soundbarrier to use, but no offensive ultimates. They're just trying to take out Solar, who, to be fair, is the last remaining check mark of Dream Eaters. Bob will be coming up shortly, to be fair.
Any touch?
And if they could get a touch, at least they can build up to Bob, but Tiger's being forced off is not going to have a good angle for Bob. Is going to be able to throw it in now, though, as Dino is on the Orisa just to stay alive. There's that sound barrier, though. Has been put up there, giving the attacking team just a little bit of extra health to push into. This Bob that's really laying down the law on point, forcing Tropu back. Banana, though, taking down Dino. The boop of the wall is going to mean that Tiger can't touch. Don't know where Solar was, and they will secure the map with 41 seconds in their time back.
Solar was just... I mean, I think Solar was really struggling on a lot of the backline hits. So it looked like they wanted to play a lot softer and kind of mark the right flank pretty far back, expecting like a has dive. That really hurts your uptime. And as well, when the cart came through, they were just too slow to react. So, a bit of a goof there from the Dream Eaters, if you ask me. Letting EMPR Gallica cap with time was not something they really needed to do, but I think more than a couple of sloppy mistakes in this composition have really come back to cost them. It seems like they are very used to playing this maybe with a Winston, and changing to the ball, I'm not quite sure if they're aware of how the setup maybe changes. So it seems like they're going on a very different comp on the attacking side. It was a very heavy poke comp more than anything else, some brawl capability, of course. Torb, Soj, great into the hazard, so is the Orisa as well, and Hutchie and Pizza Bagel will have a much easier time living. This seems that they just want to deal with Drunk Banana once and for all, and they will need momentum to get through to the second point, I'll tell you that much for free. But first, should be much more comfortable for them.
Yeah, and to be fair, the Wrecking Ball looking very nice on that point too, even in defense. Dino was getting a lot done. I was just on that first point and forward where they struggled a lot more, but they're going to be starting out on the Orisa here, and like you said, looking to gain some momentum.
See, yeah, exactly what they can do is spawn doors open. The Torb, the Soj, the Orisa, all just going to look to shoot down the hazard. When Drunk Banana has no armor, watch him back off. That's your only real countermeasure, because Jar Malada will not be able to heal you up in much the same way. So far, kind of ignoring him while they walk their Orisa to point. This is a lot of space to take for free here. Chinese Dino is totally unharassed.
Yeah, but they're finally gonna feel the pain. Needs to get the Suzu out to initiate their self-healing, but even that's not gonna keep them alive. The giraffe peers their neck around the corner and gets the elimination. Now it's just cleanup time for Gallica as they continue to just end up. Well, actually, Solar finds Xerath, but Xerath will get back fast enough.
Yeah, but it will be kind of awkward. The Tracer can't set up in anything really risky. She'll have to probably start working around from, like, CCTV, which makes it kind of awkward. Obviously, Tracer into a comp like this is no fun anyway. The Torb really shuts down your options. But the Dream Eaters going for a different rotate this time and cleanse out early, not what they love to see.
Yeah, early cleanse. Better safe than sorry, but it does give opportunity though to Gallica, and they have to be aware of that. And this initial high ground going to be cleared by Dino. Try and give their DPS as much space to play with. If Solar can find another dink like that, it'll be great, but it's Hutchie that gets dinked by a railgun. Azra's going to take down Tiger in the backline, and again, it's a little bit too slow. It's a little bit too... There's too many weak points of the slow push from Dream Eaters, and Gallica are just taking them apart.
Yeah, it seems like when Tropu can play at a much slower pace, it works out fantastically for him. It's been very strong on the Sojourn all throughout this Hollywood, right? Just landing rail after rail. And Dream Eater's not really able to counteract that. I don't think the pace they're moving is necessarily the issue, but I don't think they're doing the right things with the time that they have. High ground's not being cleared. We're just like 5-man stacking with our hard angles comp. Not really poking, going for the brawl, and it's not working out for them.
Well, double Kitsune Rush is going to cause a little bit of chaos on point. Pulse Bomb, a Yeet and a Dream, but they're not on the Dream Eaters, so they're not going to fulfill it. Still here, Tropu on the high ground, basically waiting for a good opportunity to use their overclock if they even need it, as Solar is stuck in the back line and Pizza Bagel out too. It means that they can, again, hold on to these ultimates. This is a big disaster for Dream Eaters, but at least to their credit, they've also held on to their ultimates as well.
Again, there's no clearing of any space, right? None of the higher grounds are even looked at. We just kind of beeline towards the point and hope that somebody falls over. We need to be sending like a Tiger and Hutchie, for example, to clear your own high ground so you can fight into Cafe more effectively. Because otherwise you're going to get out-angled like you are being very consistently here. We need to see checkups, but we're still just 5-stacking.
5-stacking onto point, downpour's big, Solar goes down because of it, and overclock pulled here by Tiger. Sound barrier from the defense keeps them alive for a while, but Jock going down is a huge opportunity actually, but Drunk Banana, double wall, well placed. They're looking really good on this hazard. They're getting my Scottish approval right now. Dino is going to go down, and it's going to be 30 seconds, and this stagger is brutal.
It'll end at the end at least, but that means that Chinese Dino won't be able to come back on the Orisa. Really hasn't worked out for him whatsoever. He's going to have to swap over to, yeah, probably Wrecking Ball to get the touch going. You got Torbolt for it. It's not so bad, but into the Kitsu and the OC both, it feels a little bit paltry. Dream Eater's very much in the back foot here.
Dino's like, screw it, Orisa doesn't have a helicopter perk here. I'm just going to go Wrecking Ball through the high ground myself. Torbolt coming out with a Molten Core at the cost of the Spreader themselves. Banana just in that backline. Here's this overclock that Tropu has been holding on to. All the kinetic energy that's been building up, that potential energy being unleashed upon Gallica. Full holding on Hollywood. A very strong response to Nepal, and basically a warning to Dream Eaters. You can't take us for granted. We're gonna fight back.
Yeah, I mean, Dream Eaters, I do want to characterize that as a little bit of their collapse. As I mentioned, I thought their attack was pretty paltry, and their defense, while it was better at least, still had some pretty large errors in that I wouldn't expect a team of their caliber otherwise to make. Maybe the Winston ban was what ended up biting them in the behinds. But either way, right, they end up dropping a map, tied up 1-1 here in this series. See if each round will be any better for them in a little bit, because it's where we're going after this break.
wave. Name straight, new wave. Got lots of love. Got lots of love. Got lots of love. Love.
The Dream Eaters are having their dreams caught right now as they have lost another map. That puts them at 4 maps total that they've lost in this season of CGL, and that's where they want it to end. Otherwise, if they let this slip away from them, this could very well be their first loss right after winning the mid-season. So they have to get their acts together here, Spec, and change the tide of things, because Hollywood looked a bit rough, to be honest.
Okay, Hollywood, they had no Winston. That, I think, threw like a huge spanner into their game plan, because I don't think they really had a great idea outside of that. Winston man's out the way now. They can go Malka if they want here on East France. They go Winston here in East France. Both those be pretty comfortable. Your DPS, everything that the DPS have played, I think are super, super chill here. If you're a backline, you can play every backline. Realistically, it's not all that. So I think this is going to be the map, or it should be on paper at least the map, but they do end up coming back for the first ban now available for Dream Eaters. Remember, they can still ban Malga or Winston if they so choose. A Malga ban a smidge more likely than the Winston, I think. But we'll see exactly where they elect to take it next. I would imagine you want to ban out, like, Junker Queen? Maybe Zarya? A Lucio ban means that you have to play, like, a Juno Brig and a Brig backline. So they probably are going to go to...
I like this. We talked about how it seemed like the side of Gallica, specifically Joka, struggled a little bit to play Juno into Dream Eaters. They were very good at finding where the Juno was and eliminating them fairly early in fights. So perhaps Dream Eaters are going back to that plan that they had.
Ara? I personally would have banned Ana. I would have banned Ana here because then your opponent has to play Juno Brig. But fair enough. Oh, well, you can't. There's Lucio. I'm sorry. No, the Pharah ban is to stop you from getting poked out. If you want to play like Malga and just sit on cart, then Pharah is going to poke you out and ruin your day, and you'll be really sad. With the Pharah now gone, then it makes it a lot easier to exist on the point and wait for your opponents to come to you rather than falling over before they actually get there. So I think these are pretty reasonable bans on both sides of the equation. But, of course, as you can tell as well, then Dream Eaters have made a substitution. Ymiro going to be coming in place of Pizza Bagel. Pizza Bagel mainly playing the Moira for the most part. See if Ymiro has a bit more specialism on maybe the Anna, the Kiri, if that's going to work out any better for the Dream Eaters here.
Yeah, and the backline, a bit of a ship of Theseus moan here, and now both have been swapped out since the start, and that backline looking completely different to how it looked in Nepal, but perhaps these small little changes is going to be what helps them. They have a very large roster, right? They have their starting 5, but then they also have 4 people down as substitutions. That's a very large team, and in a world of bans, you think, okay, that gives us more flexibility, but sometimes I've found that it means that those teams aren't as coordinated as other teams. But Dream Eaters, they're undefeated. They've been proving that hypothesis wrong so far. So perhaps they know something we don't. Obviously, substitutions, they come in after the bans, I believe. So it could be in response to the bans as well.
Yeah, subs do come after the bans. So you don't see like a Sim one trick come in and ban Sim, and then they feel pretty sorry for themselves, realistically, right? So yeah, that does make sense. See exactly how this is going to go, but I do imagine it's going to be probably like Winston, Soj, Tracer versus Malga. What team's playing actually in Odo ECS? I seem to remember it being like a lot of like Echo Tracer Pharah, that kind of look for the Malga.
Yeah. Just
so you can like hard poke things out. We'll have to wait and see though, because teams, I think with the Malga especially, like to get really creative with things. You kind of have a scenario where almost every DPS is going to work, so you can go much more towards how your team precisely wants to play.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Pharah being played, and with the perk of that concussion bind being able to suck in.
Mini grab is crazy OP.
Yeah, using that in conjunction with a Mauga slam and cage is an insane combo that has been working really well for teams that get that coordination down to a T. So, you know, the more...
But, like, your Ana cooldowns will stall enough time, whereas with Winston, you can just bubble. What are they going to do? So I do think Dream Eaters have won the conversational rock, paper, scissors so far. but actually executing it might be a different game entirely. That being said, if I was a betting man, I would probably say Dream Eaters go up 2 and 1 here. EMPR Gallica looking combined from worse odds.
Yeah, and it'll probably come down to the adaptations here, because if that hazard begins to basically turn out the way that you predicted it, which you're a smart fella, it's probably going to be that way. Then it's about how they're going to adapt, right? How are they going to turn that around in terms of like that? Do we see them flex onto the Winston, match the Winston? Maybe they go onto Junker Queen again and just gonna try and bunker down, but without the Lucio, it's a bit tough. Of course, you're forced onto the Juno, and we've seen them struggle a bit with the Juno. But let's pretend that nothing happened previously. This is our first time seeing Esperanza. Woo!
So this is gonna go. I mean, there's nothing we can kind of say about it. I think we haven't already said. Honestly, I think it's a pretty good map. I think it's one of the better push maps. Not that any of them are bad particularly, but the DPS flanks are pretty good. It's pretty chill. All the rotates are nice and easy to think about. The backline positioning does get a little bit weird. So if you are one of the support players here, then there's maybe a little bit more scrutiny on you than there otherwise would be. So for Hachi, Miro, Jarmalada, and a Solo Giraffe, maybe they are going to be the players who could make or break it for their team. Solo Giraffe, just get off the Weaver expediently.
You never know. Maybe Giraffe's the one that'll make it work. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
obviously Anna. Okay, so exactly as I reckon I said, Dream Eaters will have a much easier time punishing backline. EMPR Gallica, I imagine, will probably either like kill the Hachi Miro squad like instantly, or if not, they will just be losing this fight.
Yeah, that Brig Anna is such a defensible backline that the Hazard, who doesn't have as long range jump as a Winston does, is going to struggle to even get into position to hit them out. Nade's being flung already, which gives Dino a bit of a clean jump there. Gets slapped up, but that angle control's already there, and forcing them into awkward spaces is, oh boy, Zara's taking a lot of zap damage. You need to dash back out, which is just giving so much space control. And look at Banana, who's had to go so far to even contest the backline, gets needed up, bye-bye, back to spawn, and the rest of Gallica are going to have to back up and give way.
Indeed. So we see the punish come through, actually this time straight on to Drunk Banana. I thought it would just be a straight up backline trade, but it turns out Anacides are still pretty good at just killing there. They give up all this space, all this free push, and I gotta say, if you are the Dream Eaters, there's no reason to go for anything proactive here. You just keep on waiting for EMPR Gallica to walk into your sightlines again.
Ignite actually onto the back line, but the wall kind of actually gets in the way of Xeris momentarily following up on it, and there is no true follow-up. They pushed them up to the high ground at the very least, but again, they're just taking position up there again. Fought in an awkward position compared to the position of the Dream Eaters, which has caused, oh jeez, very odd positioning for the support line, who just get followed up on. The Winston being so much quicker to follow up on opportunities than the Hazard, and we're just seeing that right now as, yeah, Gallica are struggling with this comp.
Yep, the backline is just evaporating on cooldown, unfortunately. That's the issue with the double flex. We are seeing it. Chinese Sino's zero pressure as he just walks towards that Kiriko, and so the drop goes down to a Tiger as well, of course, the other side of that map. Some progress, sub 10 meters accrued for EMPR Gallica, but it won't matter at all in the end. Lovely sleep, but will it save Solo Girard's life temporarily or permanently?
It looks like a temporary one as the Winston decided to push in. Actually, he has forced a Suzu, but still goes down as Solar finds Giraffe. And yeah, Dino cleaning up here as they just continue to go forward. They've got the forward spawn here pretty much, and they'll get lead beyond that. But with 7 minutes remaining, it's not all ended here for Gallica, but we need to see something different, I think.
Yeah, we've seen very little success from them so far. Of course, having those forward spawns makes it pretty comfortable, but now they've got it. They've pushed it up to the archway, and now we see a pretty standard play where you wait for your opponent to push into you. You've got the lead. They know they have to eventually, but the defender sidelines are just so hard to break, right? We're just going to see Solar and Chinese Dino back up when they experience any pressure. EMPR Gallica such a hard time actually catching any target.
And you just see them staging here, scouting out, but they don't see too much here. They're just going to back up momentarily because they've got the time, right? They're the team in the lead. Dream Eaters, they don't need to rush into this one. Nano Monkey engaged with Banana, but the bubbles placed a little too early there to help them push forward. The rally has been forced out, actually, and immediately Banana recognizes that they can back up here, so they're just going to wait for that to wear off, come back in. Backlane in danger as Xeris is going to find them. Blade is striking through. Of course, the rally has already been used. Takes out the Brigida to dash towards Tiger, who does take Xeris out, but it's not enough. And finally, we'll see some movement here on the bot and the push map for Gallica.
Yeah, it takes it a little while, but at the end of the day, progress is progress. Dream Eater's pretty behind on that check mark, so EMPR Gallica might have a pretty easy time of this next fight, especially if this Brig goes down. Good whip, but it won't stop Hachi from just giga staggering themselves.
Yeah, you do not want to see that, but you do if you're a Gallica fan, that's for sure. And without that Brigida, Banana can be a little bit more free to go to the back line. So can Xeris as well. They're actually wrapping on the left side here to take position on the high ground to re-enter this one. The overclock ready from both sides. Both of these players have shown that they can get a lot done with the ultimate. Big sleep onto Banana means that this backline's completely free to just get basically lawn-mowed here by Dino, who's got the nano as well. And they will get the forward spawn though, so they will meet them in the middle. They've not got the lead, but this is a better position now for Gallica.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a much better spot to be in. Frank the lead just to slightly over 20 meters. Tiger, you got to get out there. It's a bit more pressure than you'd rather be under early on. And there's still more cycles for this Winston left to go.
Yeah, and that's an antenatal to the back line, and you see Diana backing up. Tiger goes down though to the overclock belt, to the railgun belt up there. And yeah, this is a great angle as well. They do have to concern themselves with the bot that's being pushed right now, because someone's on it and has actually gotten a fair few meterage out of that.
Yeah, it's going to be the lead maintained almost definitely for the side of Dream Eaters. Solo dying makes it awkward, but at the end of the day, you'll have a fight probably about the midpoint of that map, maybe kind of just past the midpoint. And in terms of the check marks, it's not bad, right? You've got 4. Yes, you are down the nano, which sucks. And yes, EMPR Gallica do have better ults than you, which sucks. But you're still in a pretty good spot with things considered to keep burning down this time map and keeping this map competitive.
Dino already just being very aggressive into this backline, has taken the carry off the map.
Wow.
And great juggling here. Now this is why Winston got banned and why I was upset at it, because there's nothing better than watching a good Winston player juggle. But Dino did go down to Xeris here, so it isn't a clean one, right? This is still defendable for Gallica, but they just have to be careful what they're doing. And the Primal Rage is going to be pulled up against a rally and E overclock, so you're pretty happy if that traded.
Yeah, I feel like one or the other would maybe be an appropriate response. Both does seem like a bit of overkill, and one that might come back to bite EMPR Gallica. Another blade for Osiris that's going to have, again, no rally to follow up on.
Hachi got clipped with that anti-nade, but backed up enough so that they didn't get followed up on. But, oh, Banana, I think they had a bit too many there, definitely too drunk. I think they went too far in. Xeris finding Solar isn't going to really be enough to equalize here, as the Winston's still up for the side of Dream Eaters, and they're still pushing forward.
Yeah, that they are. Still trying to do their best to increase their lead. This time they're not going to be able to manage it. But they're going to be right back into the action as soon as Chinese Diners is ready.
Oh my lord, and there's a TP already, so then they know that the carry is vulnerable. False bomb into the back line, trying to force even more cooldowns out. Carry gets another TP, but the blade is a gigantic in the back line, taking out both supports and takes out Tiger as well. Very much needed there from Xeris.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice enough to be able to get those kills, but because you also lost a couple members of your own, you can't actually hold the cart for that long. So as soon as the respawns from Dream Eaters come, then they have to give up the objective once again. They have been able to play for some of their own respawns, and that is 4 spawns unlocked, but I don't know, I'm still much more comfortable in the Dream Eaters position.
And, well, Gallica are trying to make it better for themselves as they push, but Giraffe's already gone. That's a disaster. You can't let that happen to your Ana, but when you don't have a Brig, it's much more likely to happen. And Yeah, Gallica are just immediately on the back foot here, being pushed back.
Yeah, they got all of, what, 3 meters from that push? Unfortunately, EMPR Gallica, very little chance to really spread their wings there in that battle. Just as I said time and time again, this squishy double flex backline, again proving to be a weak point of EMPR Gallica. Now, a minute and a half left to go. Dream Eaters really just want to get as much distance as they can, start bleeding down the ults. They recognize their OT, they'll only need 1 fight win, but Chinese side is getting involved early.
Oh, Dino loves to get involved, has the primal rage, and is decimating them. King Kong Dino here, taking them out and looking clean with it. No wonder Winston got banned earlier, because we're seeing perfect plays here from the Winston.
Yeah, it's a second, at least multi-kill from that primal rage, just doing it, feels like every time. The consistency is unmatched. Extra distance here, but considering Dream Eaters have gone for a heavy spend, then EMPR Gallica will have an ult advantage as we head into OT. Dream Eaters cannot spend a check mark here. Any distance they get is nice, but the economy is pivotal.
Sleep's already up there, and is gonna have means this other monkey, the banana, is a little bit more free, but Giraffe still goes down to Dino. Okay, that's rough. The nano was available, and yeah, oh dear is the right response. This is devastating. A nanoed overclock is not fun. That's the pack-a-punch break on in your face.
10 seconds, now 5 left to go. A touch, I believe, is a possibility. No, it's not. That's going to be it. By the looks of things, Dream Eaters up 2-0. Not the cleanest win on each Barancer I've seen, but at no point during that series did you ever really feel they were behind. Fantastic work to, again, get the lead here. And, of course, it was kind of all off the back of a Chinese Dino who just played an absolutely lights-out map on that Winston. I mean, just totally dismantled the opposition.
Man, making value out of rival turns, what, to a lot of, let's be honest, to a lot of European monkey players is a survival ultimate. You use it to stay alive and maybe disrupt. To Dino, it's a, no, I'm gonna frag out here. I'm gonna get a minimum 2 eliminations and win a fight with Primal Rage. And they did it multiple times. It wasn't just a fluke, it's skill. And now you can definitely see why they struggled so much in Hollywood without that Winston, because, my god, I couldn't imagine how different Hollywood would have looked if they actually could have locked in that Winston.
I mean, I would have to imagine it looks something like this. I mean, I understand the ball he was okay at, but it's just not the same, right? The actual impact that we're seeing here is borderline unmatched. And I don't think EMPR Gallica really have the tools to deal with something like this. Obviously, we mentioned they've banned the Winston already. You can maybe go for an Ana ban, but even then you can play like Winston Kiri, Winston Juno, and it's not as synergistic, but it's still very bloody strong, right? So a lot of thought now for the losing side to try and figure out how they're going to battle back, because 2 in a row going to be needed if they want to dirty the record of the Dream Eaters.
Yeah, they need to step it up, and they need to find what worked. I mean, obviously what was working for them was Hazard, so I don't blame them for initially coming out on Hazard again and trying that to see maybe that was the magic mixture. Turns out not so much, at least on Esperanza, where it's such an open range that Hazard's just going to struggle. Even if you were to get eventually the perk where you have more range on your leap, it's still not really going to make up for the fact that you're playing against a Winston bubble, and by the time that they went onto the Winston, they did okay. They did okay on the Winston, right? They did a very fine job, but up against Dino, it's a hard task to mirror that performance.
I probably wouldn't try and mirror. It's hard, and it's not your thing. So, you know, listen, in Overwatch, it's really important, in my opinion, to just stick to your lane. You know? Nobody asked Gushway to go out there and Diva Div Hanbin. It's just, there's no point. You know? Play to your own strengths and see how it's going to go after that. Points. That being said, I probably ban Ana here to get it out the way. You know? See what you can do to restrict the abilities somewhat of Chinese Dinos, because he's kind of just like juggled your team like they're a baby in the hit film Megamind. Sorry, I don't know where the reference came over me. But
Presentation!
Yeah, dude, that film is so good.
I love that film. It's such a good film.
You think we should just like stop casting for a while and just talk about films for a while?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's podcast this. Let's just talk
Yeah.
over the gameplay. People will love that.
And they love us, right? Obviously, everyone's
Yeah.
here for our personality rather than to watch the games, to watch their friends
Yeah.
play.
No one has us muted on another monitor. No one's doing that. Everyone's
Never,
just
never.
listening. Yeah, that's what's happening. But by the way, I've been wanting to say for a while, I am well aware that Solar Giraffe wants to go by Solar, but there is a player who's literally just called Solar, so unfortunately today, your name is Giraffe. So that is why we've been calling you Giraffe. This isn't like a protest against you, it's just that there's another player called Solar, and it would be kind of awkward to say Solar twice. Just wanted to get that out there because I was feeling bad about it. The only British, well, actually, yeah, the only person proud to be British on this side of Gallica. There's a person who put their nationality down as Welsh, and I respect it because I put it down as Scottish. So fair enough, fair enough. What would you put down? Do you put down British? What do you put down? In that
I feel like if you put down English, you're probably a member of like the EDL. All due respect, so can't do that one. So yeah, I know we just use UK. It's kind of easier, especially since Wikipedia don't really let you be non-representing nowadays. So yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
On
that's how
Wikipedia,
big.
I'm Scottish, which feels nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been because I've been setting up my team's Wikipedias. Or not their
Right.
full page, but at least of their like university page. So I've got to be the one who goes through and changes the flag from UK to SC UK to make it Scottish. That's a little bit of fun.
Yes, it is fun. It's very important work to do that. It is very important work. Yeah, I think we're just waiting for the players to get ready, so we may as well just break into that podcast we were talking about. So what I'll say is the Batman. I like the Batman, right? I prefer Gotham as like a world-built world in the Batman than I do the Christopher Nolan films, where it kind of just feels like New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah. Oh, and
So,
it's New York, and then was it Boston? I forget. I'm not an expert in US cities.
Probably a little Chicago in there. I don't know.
Yeah, Chicago. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. But no, yeah, they got Gotham down pretty well. But enough of the
fantastic.
Batman. Batman's been banned. Now we've got some Overwatch heroes to ban. Gallica.
How do you ban Batman? In lobby?
Wrecking Ball, because Wrecking Ball can perch up and then just like fall down like Arkham type. Or Reaper.
Okay. Anyway, EMPR Gallica, they got first ban. They banned Brig. I guess makes sense. I would have just removed the Ana outright, but this kind of achieves almost the same thing. You can play like double flex if you want. You could play Ana Lucio, but it's awkward, right? So a decent job of weakening the Winston comp. Dream Eater's got their own ban, and with only DPS and tank limited to, a lot of picks still in. You could go towards really anything. They've kind of got plenty of options here, but nothing that's really going to be a golden bullet. Support bans, I think, are just too impactful right now.
No, my boy. What have they done to my boy? Tor.
Well, we killed Torb. Yeah, Torb's pretty good right now. He's pretty good at busting tanks.
What
I
did
think
this
this is a
family do
fantastic
to
ban.
anyone to deserve this ban? What did they
But
do?
Lindholm's down.
Yeah, the
They've
whole
been,
Lindholm.
they're good at their game, you know? If they were like Lifeweaver, then no one would care. But they're pretty effective. Like, Torb is really good at busting Haz especially, so I'm not sure about this ban. It might come back to bite the Dream Eaters more than it actually ends up helping them. Starty going to be in on DPS instead of... I'm blanking now, I should know this. Tiger.
Oh,
There we go.
Zarus. Oh, Tiger, yes.
Yes.
Zarus is on the other team. I know what's happening. I'm looking at my screen. Yeah, I think this is just what we'll see a lot of Dream Eaters do. I mean, they've got so many players that can do this, and I doubt we'll see. Oh, there's the lobby, everyone. Just so you know, I doubt we'll see the Sombra. Poor Sombra mains I've seen have resorted to just not picking perks because
I can't lie. I think they're complaining
literally-
too much, guys. Like, you can still hack people with the healing.
I
It's
know,
just like
but
marginally harder.
I don't know why Sombra's perks out of everyone. Like it's the here's a positive and here's a negative. Where like Ana just gets to have 2 nanos and there's no negative.
Okay, I think Ana's perks are crazy. Let's keep it real. But for example, with the Risa
That's
perks,
fair,
If you want to like get your spear or get your shield, you have to lose an ability. You know, there's opportunity cost with every hero. Just like with Junkrat perks, for example, then you lose bullets in your gun in exchange for
That is
fast
true,
projectile speed, or your mine can't detonate as fast. You know, like there's a lot of heroes. Like Sombra is one of the losers of perks, but like not more than other characters. I think they just want to be special. I'll be so real here.
I think to be a Sombra player, you do have to be a little special anyway. So
Even Lip isn't playing Sombra right now. Like guys, just lay off it for a bit. Go learn like a trade until Sombra's good again.
yeah, like go try another hobby. Taekwondo, kickboxing, yoga. Yoga could be good for you. I mean, you probably need a mentality help anyway if you are playing Sombra in all your games. So there's that. So.
Oh, we've been told that there's been tech issues, you can tell, so we can go back to podcasting. So yeah,
Yes.
I think between the Batman and Chris Nolan's Batman, I think the Chris Nolan Batman is pretty like they're good films, they're great films. I think the overall like meaning of the film is probably stronger, but I think in terms of the characterization, the Batman is so much better. The world is stronger. In my opinion, the score is fantastic. So big shout outs to Michael Giacchino for, in my opinion, composing a better score than what was it, a Hans Zimmer score? Like high praise.
Hans Zimmer has some bangers, but I have to agree with you. Like the bangers in the Batman, they like really lean into like the style of it. But we don't have Batman, we have Venture. Digging around, looking for those drills, looking to clobber the enemies. Overwatch's version of the Thing. Now, of course, going to be burrowing in to basically what I'd call the uppies. Get someone in the air to follow up, and Durant just gets deleted. Bye-bye, drilled away. And it's so well paired with a Queen composition. I love putting Venture with a Junker Queen. It just works so well.
Yeah, absolutely it does. You kind of just run over EMPR Gallica. If you are EMPR, you should recognize that you're looking to take slow fights. You're looking to kind of work in. If you're Dream Eaters, then you will eventually get out-angled, and Ymira will run out of healing. So all you need to do is stop that from happening. Just death ball and just run over your opposite.
And it's a death ball, but the ball's underground. Seismic tremors here, and they have to back up June style, but Gallica have stolen the point. The heist of the century. Meanwhile, they're still in the fight right now. Brick Sucks will go down actually to drop who finds him. Lots of damage though onto that front line. Oh, Banana is taking so much punishment. Will eventually go down. A bruised fruit there in the bowl. Gallica though, they win it out. Trollpoo doing wonders here on the Tracer actually.
Yeah, great work. As we see, a longer fight goes in favor of EMPR Gallica. Their comp just works so much better for it. And Dream Eaters, it's not the end of the world for them, right? You've got a Cole a smidge before everybody else. Yes, the pulse is online, but you can't really kill anybody with it. Your only good stick target is going to be Brigitte Sucks on that Lucio, and it's a hard one to connect.
Big pulse bomb is gonna connect, but it's onto the tank who has to shout. Myro coming out here with the Coalescence, focusing on the damage on the backline here to try and follow up. Is gonna take the carry out. That's a great elimination. Opens it up for the rest of the Dream Eaters to just walk onto point. Basically, it's cleanup time now because the tank's down, and that'll be that.
I feel like Cole is a sleeper strong ultimate, honestly. Really effective, especially into some of these Queen comps where the HP isn't the highest. Obviously, just laser beaming down the backline, forcing so much space and giving a little bit of added sustain as well. Dream Eaters right back in control, but they can't afford another.
No, they can't. 99% control for Gallica. Of course, they're angling for the rampage. It comes up big, but the axe does not find anything. Starty will, though. Giraffe goes down. Oh, they actually AJ'd. Oh, that is rough. Oh, God, and I swear someone is put down as the Ajax Andy. Brick Sucks, actually, so it's not Giraffe there. So we have another Ajax Andy on the map.
Happens. I didn't. There was a clip of me on Twitter a couple of days ago of Ajaxing. You know, it's life. It's unfortunate, but it's also a huge span under the work to EMPR Gallica, who needed that to stay bloody alive. First point going in favor of Dream Eaters. And as we head towards bomb flats now, having exchanged the beat and rampage both, it is also advantage in favor of the Dream Eaters. The Kitsu going to be an issue But I will say the Tectonic Shock is a great way of temporarily denying that space.
Tectonic Surge is going to force Suzu out early. Smari just trying to compensate for the fact that Kitsune rushes up on the other side, but Myro finds them. Well, actually finds a Kiriko again. Dropu doing wonders. Has been very good on this Tracer. Looking to be a clutch factor for their team. Pulse Bomb lands perfectly and bursts down Dino. They go extinct on the point, and Dropu. Suddenly I'm thinking, why haven't we seen more of this Tracer?
Yeah, it's been working out fantastically in his favor. EMPR Gallica able to take a first point after, or first a cap rather, after maybe an awkward start to the fight, trading your Kiri for your Venture. You'll take that every damn day of the week. But the Tracer's able to work on those low resistors and still find impact. Malgan out for Drunk Banana. Easier to play, definitely. Now means that it's EMPR Gallica who are looking for these early fights. Chinese Dinos and co who are looking to extend.
And looking for the slam here. Gonna go in. Blade there to follow up is gonna deal the damage, but they've just escaped. Well, they thought they did. Myro goes by. Break sucks also. Dropu finds them and Drunk Banana pushes through. This adaptation here from Gallica is put Dream Eaters in the back foot. In fact, they've even swapped to the Sombra we were talking about.
Yeah, Sombra does give you EMP win cons. It's generally harder to catch than the Venture, but also easier to displace. I think this is more of a side grade than anything else. EMPR Gallica with choke control in a great spot.
Blade coming out here, doesn't find too much with it. Meanwhile, Bricksox finds their counterpart. In fact, both supports of Dream Eaters find their counterparts. The Coalescence has been a winning ultimate in a lot of these fights.
I mean, the Blade's used to force out the Kiri cooldowns and distract. The Cole is used to convert. Again, Cole being a really great tool for Dream Eaters here, something we can maybe look towards in the future. They do need to finish off this Queen ult. They've got to get it online sooner rather than later as well, because Solo Draft's beat could counteract it entirely.
Look at the damage being done to Banana. Needs to use a cardiac overdrive before they even get through the choke. A lot of that anti-effect being put onto a lot of players. Xeris is going to go down to the suction of Myro, and Myro's damage orb again. This Moira is proving devastating against Gallica.
Yeah, Miro cooking right now from the flex support role. Just been a great pick of the Dream Eaters to constantly spam this hero, and it's working out so well in their favor. 80% last fight on bomb flats. That much is for sure. EMPR Gallica have some huge tools for it. Sarti's EMP here has to be ginormous.
Yeah, she's getting really close to it, and of course they have that on their mind. Surely Gallica, though, are going to be prepared for it. Myro going down means that healing is gone. That sustainability, but the EMP potential here, they could win this fight. Hello, they have no healers now. Banana going down means actually the EMP could win it out. Tropu gets hacked by it, so does Xeris, so they have to be a little bit more careful. But even while EMP'd, Solar goes down to Xeris, and despite that EMP, Gallica pushed through it.
Yeah, it was a decent EMP, but it ended up being that Starty kind of just went all in on connecting it and didn't really think about what happened after. So it takes a lot of damage, Soda takes a lot of damage, and there aren't really DPS who can follow up on all the targets you've hacked. One-on-one here, on Flashpoint, on New Junk City, and the EMPR Gallica still in with a fighting chance of bringing us to a map number 5. They've got both DPS ults, they've got this cage. Dream Eaters basically just have to suck up the fight loss.
Unless they can clutch it out, and Solar finding the Kiriko will be a great start to it. The Blade desperately trying to follow up in his cage. They just can't connect. That was a bit disastrous, but Giraffe does enough work clotheslining them with their long neck there. Xeris super low HP, just trying to stay alive. Didn't have the dash to go back to that mini, and Dino just cleans up, and they didn't have to eat up the loss. Spec, they won.
Okay, so I didn't know that Osiris can have some sort of like tremor attack that meant the Dragon Blade was incapable of connecting. A really unfortunate beef that sort of cost them the fight, absolutely. And Dream Eaters now have better ult economy because of it, as well as first cap here, and a lead of 30% at the very least here.
Oh, Dino has to stand still, uses the shout to stay alive. Tropu goes down for that pulse bomb attempt, and with this Kitsune, with this Coalescence just bullying them backwards, they're just getting nothing from this push, and Xeris going down, and again, Dream Eaters looking very confident here on this point.
That they are. I will say, in the interest of entire scientific accuracy. Oh, firstly, lovely kill. Trade it for Miro, you get at least some sort of release of pressure. But I would have loved if they started with the rampage, just because you know the beat wouldn't be online there, but not to be. So the Giraffe now has the ultimate charged up.
And the EMP's ready. They have allowed the point to switch over, but again, they have the percentage to be patient, but they can't be too patient here. Rampage, Kitsune Rush, a lot on the board right now. Dino has found himself way too deep, will get taken out by Joka, and it is a bit of a disaster here where Dream Eaters, they have held on to a lot of those ultimates though, to be fair, so they can recontest, but they've let a lot of percentage go down during the process of this fight.
Yeah. Okay, to be fair, you do have EMP Blade. So you are in a very comfortable spot, all things considering. You can probably just win this, assuming both teams play optimally if we see some strong scaling from both of these rosters. In that previous fight, a little bit awkward there. Chinese Zeno tries to go for that rampage, but basically misses everybody. And because of that, doesn't get the healing that he maybe expected.
Big shout in early, but the extra health already gone. The hack on to the Mauger, just trying to force them down. Meanwhile, Solar looking to be the bright light in Gallica. Zeiss, yeah, the Myro just goes down, and that's a huge loss. That was almost an Ajax 2, the hack, but they are able to get it out before the hack lands. Dino trying to equalize there. Jog goes down. EMP immediately into the cage. Beautiful from Starty. She's won that for her team. They get percentage on the board again, and they're going to win this point off the back of it.
Yeah, really, really close there. But turns out EMP's a pretty bloody good ult. Gets the catch as well onto the Lucio. Solar Giraffe going to be kicking themselves after a fatality like that. Turn one here. Could be just one flashpoint away from closing out this series. Remember, EMPR Gallica, 2 in a row, necessitated to extend play. But you'll take a gander at the top left of your screen. Dream Eaters totally skinned.
Yeah. And you'd think that they would lose this next fight, but to be fair, they've won fights in this scenario, right? Big slam coming in against the blade. Oh no, they fell down. They didn't have the follow-up that they wanted because they fell down in the middle of the point. You cannot let that happen to you. Big Sucks finds Joka to try and turn it around. Starty going down. Banana though has found Starty, just has to use this cardiac overdrive to stay alive. Too much damage nonetheless, and it will be Dream Eaters again taking the fight.
And looking for the stagger as well onto Tropo. The Lucio's going to do the best to chase, but having got some health and still having some pretty decent cooldowns, I'd imagine... No, they want this Tracer dead. Tropo's managed to grab more than a couple of health packs though. So it seems that they will have to unfortunately cancel the chase. Dream Eaters, you've got the rampage. Solar Giraffe is slightly behind on that beat. There is a small window here where you can punish.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like they're probably going to ultimate as soon as they have the ability to. Just looking for that Lucio, who's on 1 HP. Kitsune Rush comes up, but immediately hit by the rampage. Yeah, Giraffe goes down again. That's 2 for the price of 1 in the AJ department. Banana, though, fighting Dino is looking to turn it around. If they can get Starty here, it'd be great, but Starty has the ability to just run away in invis. Solar has used deflect here. They're going to have to back up. Goku just trying to do what they can. Hachi trying to just twist the knife in. Meanwhile, Giraffe has gone back with 2 eliminations to make up for what they did early in this fight. And Gallica are going to hold control here.
Honestly, Hachi's real as hell for that. I would do the exact same thing in his spot. Okay, so you know you only need 1 fight. You know you've got EMP Blade beats. You know they have Cage as well. You have a couple ways of structuring this fight, but at the end of the day, you just want to throw all your chips into the middle, because there's no reason to hold anything back here.
Yeah, Blade first, force Cage, EMP, or just Blade and take out their Kiriko. If they win this point, they win the map, they win the series, and they stay undefeated. That's what they want to be doing. Cage comes up and immediately Starty says, yeah, I don't want you to have any fun. Here's my ultimate that's going to ruin your ultimate and ruin your hopes of making us a team that has a loss, because they will stay undefeated. They will stay the top of this division, and Dream Eaters have now faced every team that could potentially cause them issue in this division, and they have very clearly proven that no one is coming close to them. So unless this mid-season messes it up, I would put all my chips in the Dream Eaters' side to win the playoffs and win this division, because so far they've proven that they can.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I feel like with that game as well, maybe the main difference was in the support line. I would think we saw so much value from Emiro, especially on that Moira. It feels like an 100% fight conversion rate with those coalescences. Just hugely, hugely impactful on the other side of things. Not the worst game I've ever seen by any means from Solo Giraffe, but at the other end of the spectrum, right? 2 AJs into 2 rushes. We need a little bit more than that. It's as simple as that, unfortunately. And those slip-ups and more have ended up costing EMPR Gallica here in this matchup. Dream Eaters 3-1. The Winston ban hurt them, but other than that, they were able to convert this game in pretty smooth fashion.
Yeah, I think, looking back on it, Dream Eaters were fairly comfortable. Nepal was a little bit close. You could chalk that up to it being the first map and perhaps not being fully warm. Their only real time where they looked like they were in trouble was Hollywood, and like you said, the Winston got banned. So if they could find something on maps where Winston's their primary tank, and then just find something, because they've got enough players on their team. I know they haven't swapped Dino, it's only been a DPS and the 2 supports that they've swapped out. But if they can just find something to supplement when that Winston gets banned, then Dream Eaters probably won't even lose maps. They'll just win 3-0. And to the rest of the teams in this division, I mean, what can you really do? You need to really hit these VODs. You need to target Dream Eaters. You need to see what they're doing and then live up to their standards. But it's difficult because of how flexible they are. Do you VOD Nepal when they had their first team? Do you VOD Hollywood where they had a different team? Do you VOD here where Starty was in? Like, they have so many players to kind of fluctuate things. This is not an easy team to really pin down, and right now they're living up to their name. They're eating the hopes and dreams of anyone that comes across their path.
Yeah, I assume we're going to go to interview. So we're going to go to a short break. When we're back, we should be able to yap to another member of the Dream Eaters after a very nice and easy win. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
The hopes and dreams of all other teams in this division have been eaten. There is one dominant team, and you cannot contest that fact because they've earned that position by beating any team that would give them any issue. And off the back of winning the mid-season, well, the challenge to the rest of the teams is, what can you do? Well, we've got two of the members from the Dream Eaters. We have Pizza Bagel and Tiger. First of all, welcome to the stream and congratulations on the win.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, my first question is just gonna be an easy one. You've now faced any team that could potentially give you issue in this division. How does it feel to be the team that is at the top? You're the top team in this division. Does that give you any nerves that someone might finally be able to take you on and potentially beat you, or is this confidence just continuing to build for you guys?
I'd say like a mix. If you're looking at like our backline, we are very much. I think nerves are beginning to get to us because we are just like trying not to fraud out, but very much we do ride confidence to keep our to keep us up.
I think for me personally, my first question is gonna be, guys, what happened on Hollywood? Why are we conga lining 5 guys through CCTV? Like it was really good for the rest of the series, but on that map it just seemed like a bit of a.
To be honest, Hollywood is one of the few maps we generally don't scrim as much. However, that is about to change, so if any team thinks that they can have the upper hand on us on Hollywood, it won't be the case. Sorry to tell you.
No, absolutely fair enough. And then also, I want you to tell me about the Moira you guys are playing quite a lot. It's not really a meta pick right now. Is it just like a comfort pick for you guys, or is it a bit of a read for?
Yeah. So when I first started scrimming with Dream Eaters, I was very much like beginning to be Moira pilled by our mean head coach Myro, and it's just like stuck around ever since. So when perks got added, we weren't playing her as much, but I have been granted permission to play some Moira.
Nice,
So
nice.
very much comfort. Very much comfort.
Last question, just kind of like basically about the history of the team. You know, when was the majority of this roster put together? How long have you guys been together as a team, and how good is the team if it's been together long enough to experience it at dealing with mid-season patches? One's coming up soon. That's going to change the game a little bit. How good are you guys at adapting to that? So how long has the team been together, and how good are you adapting to new changes?
You say you want to take this one, or do I?
Okay, you take the thing, I'll take the adapting.
Okay, so we've been together as a team sometime around late November 2024 as of right now. Of course, we have been taking some picks here and then, new trials and whatnot, but mostly the core of the team has been the same since November.
Yeah, and for adaptability, I say that's like our biggest strong suit. I would very much say that our tank is probably the most adaptable tank in
Chinese
in
dinos?
CGL. Yeah, Chinese dinos is
My
he lear-
Nosium goat.
yeah, he learns way too fast. It's freakish. Like put him on Queen, he learns it in 5 days. Put him on Ball, he learns it in like a week. So I would say our adaptability for like mid-season patches is very strong. Also, like for our head coach, he very much geeks it out. Like what's good, what's bad, you know?
Yeah, it's good to have a coach to basically just dive in and get geeky with it, like you said. All right, any shout-outs or call-outs you guys would like to make on stream?
Pizza, will you lead?
I'll shout out first, okay. Yeah, so I would like to shout out my girlfriend. I think she's watching. I would like to shout out my best friend Fish, and then I would like to shout out another person named Nivelia, who is probably also watching the stream right now.
Tiger, do you have anyone to shout out, call out?
Yes. As for me, I would like to shout out Dino Condemnation. China's Dinos, the GOAT. Chinese Dinos. Also, I would like to shout out Dream Eaters, the community, and the roster, and everybody supporting us. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah, there has been a lot of support I've seen in the chat as well. So there's a lot of movement behind Dream Eaters, and you can just see why, because they are so dominant. So yeah, thank you for the two of you to join us on stream, and we'll let you get back to your team.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, the main question, who's the best team in this division, has been answered. We've not quite answered what the best Batman movie is. Perhaps we'll get to that at a later date. But alas, it is time to wrap up. Do you have any final thoughts on this one, Spec?
I don't have anything really for you. I just want to, double up on the Chinese Dinos glaze because I think he played an amazing series. I think all of Dream Eaters did, and I think that thinking about the playoffs now of CGL Season 15, they're going to be a terrifying team for anybody.
Exactly, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm definitely Dream Eater pilled now, and I don't think any team can really challenge them. But don't see that as a damnation to the rest of the team. See that as a challenge for the rest of the teams to step up to the plate and to be a team that can be the Dream Eaters. But alas, here in EU Masters, that is us. I'll be honest, I forget if there's an any game later. There might be, so check socials if there is. Keep your eyes open because there's always CGO games coming in and out throughout the week. But for us, that is the end of the broadcast. Thank you to Echo and Mara for running production for us, and thank you, Spec, for joining me on this one. My name's been Gio, and don't forget to laugh loud and love yourself, folks. Good night.